Welcome back to another high-level match of StarCraft 2. Now, I hope you're ready for some cheesy gameplay. So here's the thing. At Home Story Cup 23, we were running a regular StarCraft 2 tournament where, well, the winner of the event gets the most money. I know, crazy concept. However, there were a couple of, I guess we can call them side pots as well. So there was $500 on the line for best cheese, $1,000 for the best match, and $500 for the best underdog. As far as I understand, this is one of the main nominees for the very best cheese of the tournament, other than, I guess, that uThermal versus Shadone series. In case you haven't seen that one yet, I'll go ahead and post a link to it down below in the description of this video, because that was an absolute banger. Either way, spawning right here in game number 1 of this best of 3, playing with the red Terran SCVs. You're probably not surprised to learn that we are once again looking inside of the main base of uThermal. His opponent, though, in the opposite corner, playing here with the blue Zerg drones. Some call him the #1 player from Finland. Some even call him the GOAT. He goes by the name of Mixu. Probably not what you expected, it's okay. A lot of people have been making some fun jokes about it, but Mixu is genuinely a very good Zerg. He is, of course, from Finland. It turns out it's a little bit difficult to make a name for yourself when you are indeed from Finland, because, there's this guy called Cyril, who I heard at the very least is quite alright at the game. Okay, so I haven't seen these games yet. I'm not entirely sure what to expect from it, but I guess it's gonna be cheesy. Honestly, I'm not even entirely sure if it's gonna be uThermal or if it's gonna be Mixu. So Mixu, of course, knows that uThermal is, well, playing not a whole lot, at least competitively, right? He does a lot of ladder games, he does a lot of fun series, he definitely does like messing around, but he doesn't really play the game competitive anymore, or competitively anymore. I guess since this tournament took place over in Krefeld in Germany, just over the German border from the Netherlands, it was only a short little trip for uThermal, so he did decide to participate in this one. And let's just say that the games that I did see him play, all of them are very, very cheesy. Now, the Overlord here is in a lot of trouble. It's gonna be a very long trip towards that pillar, and I'm not sure that he can actually make that. Jimmy is already gunning him down. It's, once again, a one-base opener here from uThermal. I say once again because I just casted that series that he played against Shadone. That was an absolute banger. Anyways, he's once again opening up with some one-base shenanigans and, okay, a command center over here in the middle of the map. This is one of those builds that now has become uThermal's standard. I feel like I see him building more command centers in the middle of the map than I see him building them inside of his own natural expansion. I mean, maybe he's gonna follow it up eventually with one over on his side of the map too. That being said, Mixu, okay, so he's gone for what looks like a 2-base opener with a 3rd hatchery hidden all the way up north. I don't think he actually sees exactly what's going on. So by the way, that Overlord, it did end up dying. It's a little bit sad for him. I guess, you know, Mixu prolonged his suffering, keeping that Overlord alive as long as possible. Little sad for the Overlord, but good for the Zerg. At this point, uThermal, though, is looking at this. Yeah, he's scouting around. He's probably gonna check whether or not there's a 3rd base taken over there. And that actually changes things up entirely. We've got ourselves an armory together with an engineering bay inside of the main base of the Terran. That is around the 3-minute mark. Not a very normal situation at all. So I guess it's gonna be Hellbats together with a Planetary Fortress. Okay. Mixu actually prioritizing creep spread, which I really do like. Lair coming up here as well for the finished Zerg. Okay, so how in the world is this gonna play out? Where are you gonna land your command center? Like, what's the... If there's no 3rd base taken, right? What's the advantage of landing it over here? It's actually kind of tricky right now. I'm not exactly sure what you're gonna do with the planetary. Over here, I mean, Mixu doesn't need to engage. Hatchery up north right now done as well, but I don't think there's really a whole lot that Mixu can do about this. Now he sees the Hellbats too. Few SCVs here available to just repair these units back up to full. Okay, he's actually gonna scan and try and get rid of some of the creep spread here. Very clever move by uThermal, but of course that does slow down the Planetary Fortress Rush significantly. Spine crawlers are coming up. He, at this point, only has Queens and Zerglings available. Now, Queens are pretty good against Hellbats. I guess the Lings, though, are not the unit you're really looking for. Okay, so at this point, the creep is starting to disappear. Does take a little while. Mixu actually putting down another cheeky little creep tumor. That one does get sniped. Overlord speed at Lairtech. That's a little bit funky. Drones coming up north as well. Spine's moving forward right now. I guess if you land the planetary over here or the command center and you morph it into a planetary, the spine crawlers are gonna do just fine. Right from the get-go, this series, oh my god, is off to a flying start. I thought that the armory was gonna just be for the Hellbat morphin, but apparently we're also using it to produce a Thor right now. Command center coming up at home in the meantime. Drones are mining that base all the way up north. So the planetary is gonna finish here. Sure. But what in the world is it achieving? Because it's not like our Terran player is going up against the Zerg who really wants to leave his base. I mean, maybe with a couple Zerglings here and there, fair enough. But it's not like he's trying to take a third. So I actually really do like this position right here for Mixu. Although, here's the Thor. Big Daddy Thor does have a lot of sustain. There's a Dropper Lord coming up. There's only drones here, though. Mixu, what are you gonna do? Mixu. Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do? Are you gonna load a drone into the... No way. Okay, Hellions actually did catch those links. Oh, no way. He just loaded 8 drones inside of that Overlord. Okay, hold up right now. Man, uThermal is bringing out the cheese in everybody in this tournament. Like, literally everybody was cheesing against uThermal just to, I guess, counter the cheese of uThermal. It's a funny problem to have. A drone drop. Oh my god, we're doing... we're doing a spine crawler Overlord? How in the world is that gonna play out? In the meantime, Planetary Fortress has finished up. Missile turrets are coming up here too, because uThermal, I mean, he's found the base up north right now. There's a Nidus network also finished here for the Zerg. There's so many things going on in this game. Look at this. 8 spine crawlers in the main base. uThermal doesn't notice. Although, to be fair, the Thor is actually not bad against spine crawlers. This may accidentally work out okay here for uThermal. I thought he was going to be sending the Thors across the map. He's making a third one right now. 8 spines, though, building inside of the main base of the Terran player. We've got ourselves the Nidus Worm. I'm assuming we're gonna... Yeah. We're gonna Nidus in the main base. This is within that vision right now of uThermal, who's finally gonna respond. There's a cloud of Overlords coming across the map as well to, I guess, allow a little bit more. Spine crawlers right now reveal themselves. Okay, Overlords once again dropping creep queens. They can indeed put down a tumor here, so that's gonna be very helpful. But those Thors, man, they don't mess around. With their high impact mode, their single target damage is through the roof. SCVs can be pulled as well to try and repair them back up to full. And look at this. Look at what we're watching right now. uThermal defends this. Yeah, no, he's gonna defend these spines for sure. There are a bunch of units here at the front, but yeah, they're not gonna be able to break in. It's uThermal who wins game number 1. A drone drop. It sounds funny just to say it. Drone dropping your opponent's main base. I don't think I've ever said those words. Okay. Let's see. Are we just gonna... Okay, alright. We're just gonna make a supply depot on top of the ramp. Are we gonna make a hatchery on the low ground, Mixu? What exactly is the plan right here? Game number 2 of this best of 3. We find ourselves on the map Gresven. That previous game, it had so much going there that... It almost felt like I wasn't staying on top of all of the things that were going on. I was trying to explain strategies, but in the meantime, there's like 17 different mind games being played at the same time too, right? I actually really like that uThermal started looking around the map for a third base though. I think that's absolutely key there. Because it could have very well been Muta play, right? So I think the reason why uThermal was adding on missile turrets next to the planetary and why he was building Thors here in the first place was to counter any sort of Muta play. That's where he was putting his opponent. But it turns out the Thors, well, they're still pretty good when it comes to dealing with these units too. But he still decided to look around the map with the Hellions and yeah, catching that base all the way up north. I guess that sort of spoiled the surprise. I wonder what that game would have looked like though if that hatchery was not found for a little bit longer and uThermal was just sort of sitting there waiting for the attack, or maybe even go for a move out of his own, right? There's definitely a chance that those Thors would be marching across the map surrounded by a bunch of SCVs. That was actually very close right there for Mixu, but uThermal apparently a slightly more experienced cheeser there in game number 1. Let's see. So once again, there's an SCV. Once again, I guess... No. This is not gonna be a... No, it's a command center at home. Would you look at that? Is this gonna be a proxy factory? Is that what we're doing? Okay. I mean, it has to be, no? We're not building it yet. Why are we not building it? We have the money right now. Boom. Okay. Factory. Factory coming up right here for the Terran player, right outside of the Zerg's main base. Now, believe it or not, Hellions, they can't fly. Siege tanks, Thors, Widow, none of those units can fly, other than, you know, when a medevac is present. We could, of course, also proxy the starport here if we want to. This is very close to the Zerg player, and he could easily scout it, but do you really suspect this, right? So, in a lot of the games that I've seen uThermal play, he goes for a command center right about right over here, in a location where Zerg is not likely to scout it, and there is a link going around the map. Mixu is gonna check some of the likely locations, and you know what? He's actually gonna find it. That's massive. Yep, he does see it right now. That is absolutely massive. Okay, well, at the very least, it's not gonna be a... He typed /dance while having the Zergling selected. Having a good old time. You love to see it. They can breakdance. Yeah, you may not have known that Zerglings can breakdance. They're fantastic. There's a bunch of units in StarCraft 2 that can dance, and the Zergling is one of them. Overlords are another one too, man. They have a sick dance move. Anyhow, there's a second factory at home. No proxy starport or anything like that. No add-on or anything like that either. I don't think that this factory is really going to achieve all too much. What even is the point? Armory coming up right now. Mixu not really respecting it all too much yet, though. He decides to go for an Evo Chamber. I guess the idea for the Evo Chamber is to go for maybe an armor upgrade or something like that, but I really think he needs a Roach Warren. He's not actually respecting the cheese here very much at all, so he's seen the timing of his opponent's natural. I guess he realizes that there might not be that many units out on the map yet. Losing an Overlord here does sort of suck. Okay, it's just gonna be Hellions and, or sorry, Zerglings and Queens here for the Zerg player, and that's not really that great, although... Okay, it's actually +1 melee here. One Queen is gonna fall. Second Queen is going to fall as well, and that actually really does hurt. Okay. Not ideal. Hellbats coming up here too. These Hellbats may actually just be able to, yeah, buy enough time for that hatchery to just take loads and loads of damage. He's just gonna start targeting it. I mean, we just got 2 Queens here and a bunch of Zerglings, but it's not like there's, I guess Zerglings, when they get the wraparound, should be able to kill all of this relatively easily. He should probably commit, though, before more and more reinforcements are coming in. It's just one Hellion sprinkling out of that factory at a time. Another Queen just ended up falling. Ah, man, that Evo Chamber really should have been a Roach Warren, or even a Baneling Nest, like literally anything. I think that would have been fine. Or he just needed to save the Queens, right? Now suddenly there's too many Hellbats available, and I think this may just be a little bit of a skill problem here in this particular game. I mean, maybe uThermal hasn't been playing this game competitively for that long, right? He's been taking a bit of a break, at least in that department. There is, in the meantime, by the way, a little bit of a... Hold up, I'm gonna back up for a second. I did not quite realize that he was sending in Zerglings on the other side of the map. Fair enough. They're just running in. I don't mind it. I don't... The problem is, even when you kill a whole lot of SCVs here, you don't actually... Like, there's not that many drones here, right? Like, 2 mules essentially mine more than the entire drone count of the Zerg right now. So, I don't think uThermal really is done just yet. Oh my god, well, he definitely is not Fusion Core on the back of this too. He did lose 7 SCVs though, so that's better than nothing, of course. But eventually, these Hellbats are gonna have to be addressed. Oh no, drones, no. Careful now, lads. Don't be fighting those Hellbats for all too long. Another Queen is gonna fall. Yeah, if those Queens were preserved a little bit better, I think this would have been A-okay. You know, one problem as well? +1 melee is nice, but it's not really gonna help you out that much against a battlecruiser finisher, right? So, I think uThermal is gonna go for the killing blow here in just a moment. Now, I say just a moment, we all know that those planetaries, or sorry, not even a planetary here, those battlecruisers take a long time to produce. 400 minerals, 300 gas, he's gonna need to smash his piggy bank in a little bit. Okay. Well, eventually Mixu does stabilize. There it is, though. Cattle Bruiser operational. It's gonna be a while. Yeah, these units do take a while. There's no chrono boost available here for Terrans last time I checked, so he's not gonna be able to get much done. Eventually, that dancing Zergling. I wonder if maybe the dancing Zergling should have been working on this factory rather than dance. Maybe send a couple more lings in to try and, you know, prevent any Hellions from spawning. Anyhow, does he expect a battlecruiser follow-up right now? Lair comes up. We really need non-stop Queen production here. If you have any less than like... Okay, he does actually shut down the command center here that just started up. If you have any less than like 5 Queens, I'm starting to be a little bit nervous. Maybe if you have a Spore Crawler, you can get away with a little bit less. Now, this is a nice little run by over here. Good micro as well, though, by uThermal. Yeah, switching up the attack moving right there with those SCV, as well as the repair command. That changes the aggro priority a little bit. So the Zerglings were trying to get on top of the Hellbat right there, but the Hellbat surface area, of course, he was surrounded right there by a bunch of Hellions, or by a bunch of SCVs rather, and it got a little bit messy. Anyways, there it is, battlecruiser going straight across the map. And apparently that's all it takes. He's not ready to defend against the battlecruiser, and uThermal obtains the victory.